Here's another recently extinct animal that you probably have never heard about, the Dusky Seaside Sparrow. Now, the Dusky Seaside Sparrow was not actually its own sparrow species per se. It is a subspecies of the still around seaside sparrow, but this particular subspecies is extinct. The Dusky Seaside Sparrow was only found in a couple specific areas of Florida, around Merritt Island and the St. Johns River. They used to be fairly common around the area, but however in the 40s the population started to decline for a multitude of reasons, including pesticides in efforts to control mosquitoes, as well as habitat loss specifically for efforts to control the mosquitoes. They used to live in salt marshes, which were very, very good at breeding mosquitoes. There was a lot of them there, and mosquitoes are a massive problem in Florida, so in efforts to control the mosquito population, the salt marshes were fully flooded, and then later, after a few years, they were drained to make way for development of other things, both of which was not good for the sparrow populations there. Due to the massive habitat destruction in efforts to control mosquitoes and also industrialize the area, there was no more viable habitat for the birds to lay eggs and for the eggs to hatch and develop into full adults. The last confirmed sighting of a female dusky sparrow was in 1975, and in 1979, all of the remaining male specimens, a total of 6, were captured and placed into captivity. Since the last known specimens left were males, it wasn't really viable to do a true captive breeding program. However, it was attempted to cross the 6 remaining dusky seaside sparrows with a close subspecies of other seaside sparrows. However, there were not that many viable offspring produced, and eventually the program was retired due to it not being effective, and the last specimens all lived and died in captivity. After the retirement of the captive breeding program, which was ultimately unsuccessful, the last 4 or so of the 6 specimens were moved to Walt Disney's Discovery Island Nature Reserve, which I didn't really even know was a thing, where they just kind of hung out until the last one died at the age of between 8 and 13. The last specimen unfortunately died in 1987, and the subspecies was officially declared to be extinct in 1990. However, parts of the last couple specimens were preserved and are still kept being preserved in hopes that cloning technology would be able to bring it back. So far, I haven't heard anything to the success of that or not, but apparently there are still, like, viable body part, or maybe not viable, but body parts with viable DNA and cells still kept and preserved, so who knows, perhaps in the future with cloning and other captive breeding stuff, the subspecies may return to some degree, so that's interesting.